Philbrick.
Yeah.
Philbrick.
Yeah. Kubrick.
Sorry, Jay, I'll pop it up.
Yeah,
That's it. That's the move.
Yeah.
Do you see Jim Carrey doing David Caruso as an English teacher?
I can't take you seriously with that. I was like, you have to take this off.
He was on Letterman and he goes, I before E, except after C. Wow!
But my first question is for you, Gren, about just coming up with the idea for the film, developing the screenplay, and the choice to make this your directorial debut.
Yes. So it's actually based on a German film that I found, which I optioned off the trailer because when I saw it, I was like, if they can pack that much heart and humor into 2 minutes, that the movie is most likely amazing. And it was, because it went on to win the German Oscar for Best Film and Best Actor, and it was mine at that point. I was very excited. So I adapted it. And I really related to it because not only was I anorexic and bulimic growing up, so that character obviously was something very personal to me, but a horse stepped on my face when I was 15, and no one wants to be friends with a girl with a hoof in her face in high school.
It's not funny. I'm not laughing at that.
Oh no, it's hysterical now. But
well,
at the
clearly you've
time,
come to terms with it where you can laugh.
Exactly. Well, you have to, because at that moment I decided, if I wasn't going to get by in the looks department, I better be funny. And so it really helped shape a point of view. And it made me realize that we're all outsiders. It doesn't matter whether it's inside you or outside, we're all different, we're all weird. So just because these 3 characters, we can see their differences, doesn't make them any different than the rest of us.
Right.
And so that really struck true to me. And also just discussing mental health. I think it's essential that there's this stigma against it, and there isn't for physical pain, so why should there be for mental?
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, Robert, let me ask you about playing this character and the research you did into Tourette's, and was it exhausting after days of doing that?
I felt when we were filming, I took on a sort of Tourette's energy, which seemed to never leave my body. So, in many ways, I don't know why, but it had a sort of a positive effect on the amount of energy I had at all times during the day. I kind of had this kind of Springer Spaniel energy in my body. It was kind of ready to pop out at all times.
He's like that anyway.
Is that why you cast him?
He walked in the room. It was like doing this. I was like, he already has Tourette's.
I was wearing these as well. It's like just
That's what got you the part,
waltz like an
obviously.
Egyptian.
100%.
But yeah, maybe I'm always like that, and I've just packaged the memory like it was just as we were filming the thing.
It's who you are.
But so I did find myself having a problem winding down at the end of a day. That was quite tough. Lying down in bed and not being able to lay still. No matter, like, if you do a jog around the block, come home, lie there, like still just kind of sitting up and like trying to sort of just get rid of this energy. So
Right.
I probably was slightly sleep deprived for some of the shoot.
Well, it worked.
It's amazing performance.
Yeah, brilliant performance. Really great.
It's really. Right, I
Very,
felt so
very
bad
brave.
for him because, I mean, it's like, God, kid, you got to get a massage. You got to
Yeah.
go to the chiropractor, get adjusted, for Christ's sake.
And-
It was.
As a veteran actor, did you look at what he was doing and say, "Oh my God, I can't"?
I don't know
Imagine.
how he's doing
Yeah,
it. It's
yeah.
amazing. He's got an accent. He's got this Tourette's thing. He was courageous. He would do it because it's uncomfortable when you see it for the first time. I mean, I was like, oh my God, look at what he's got to do the whole way through. Is he going to be able to make it? And he was on it. It was just flawless. Gren mentioned earlier that she could actually edit the takes he did because he was consistent with the way he would do it. So there was a straight. It wasn't just throw it up on the wall and see what sticks. It was a planned out way in which he could do it. It became a big part of it. So my hat's off to him. It was incredible.
Thanks, man.
Just made me love him even more.
Yeah. Well, Mr. Patrick, let me ask you about that, because you have a lovely scene in the movie with Kira Sedgwick, where you're really explaining your character's thoughts of maybe letting down his son, and he wasn't really there for his son the way he feels he should have been at this point. Can you talk about that moment in the character's story and what you were feeling emotionally?
I guess that's essentially the reason why I wanted to do it, because the whole thing when you read the script is you get why, okay, this guy's this way, but he's got to have a heart, in there somewhere, and there's got to be something, a transition that's going to happen. When do I get to see what it is from his point of view? How does he express that for what it's like to be a parent of someone that's suffering? So Gren and I had many conversations about it, and it was a wonderful thing because Kira's doctor essentially is helping me find myself on this journey, and to go that inward and find it, and there's a lot of things I can relate to it in real life. I'm a father, and
Well, I just also think Robert Rhodes is not a bad guy.
No.
He just is not equipped to deal with this situation. And by the way, who's to say any of us would be? So you can't look at him and go, oh, shame on him. He's learning throughout the movie, and at the end he takes a step. He starts to accept his son for who he is. And that was actually based on a very dear friend of mine who, his first son was born severely autistic. They obviously didn't realize until he was about 2. First they thought maybe he was deaf, and then they got the diagnosis. And he said in that moment, his heart broke because he knew his son would never be able to do the things that he had dreamt for him. But then his love changed. Now, obviously, this is a very highly evolved guy, and he loves his son so much for what he is capable of doing, not for what he thought he was going to be. And so, but not everyone's like that.
Right.
And I just think showing that side of it, once again, doesn't make Robert a bad guy. It just makes him not quite evolved.
The interesting thing is it evolving? Because you know what I mean. We're saying that, and I get what we're saying, but the basic thing is, you have a kid, you love the kid. You know what I mean. Love is the denominator here, the common one, and we are evolving. Years ago, things, different things that happened in society, people would look at it a different way or react to it a different way. That's not to say it wasn't. If you go way back, it wasn't a conditioned response. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I get what you're saying, and that just that popped in my mind that.
Well, it's clearly written as a three-dimensional character and performed as a three-dimensional
and in the
character.
animal world, how do animals treat children?
They actually leave them in pack mentality.
See?
Yeah.
So we're more evolved already.
You know what I mean?
But Robert did leave him. Like that's what's
No,
interesting.
he compartmentalized it.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
I didn't abandon the child. I left him with the wife. I decided to leave the marriage, which is a common thing that happens. I'm not making.
I love the debate. I'm curious.
Excuses.
Did this debate happen before filming, during filming at all?
We had a lot of conversations
Yeah.
about things like this, but Gren has I don't want to use the word agenda, but she has the way she sees the film,
Vision.
and it's her job as a director to help me,
Right.
mold that performance the way she sees it, and also surprise her with some other things as well. So I felt like it was a great collaboration.
Oh, we had
it's
a
hard
lot.
not to want to try to make her happy. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's the. You look at her and kind of go, okay, yeah, I'll do that for you.
Yeah.
If it was somebody else, I don't think I'd feel it, but I'll do it for you.
The mesmer stare. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is that what you get on you get the stare when
Get
something's
the
not going right?
Intense Jedi stare.
I wanted to also ask for both you and Robert about the road trip aspect of the film. As a director, filming that, and as an actor, being a part of that, did you feel like you really were on a road trip?
Absolutely. For a film of such modest budget, we did so many different locations, which is kind of, you go against the whole formula of an independent film, because the more locations, the more cost, everything else. So we went fairly far. I remember there was some really surreal situations where we were like, pulled off on the side of the road, the sun was setting, and we were doing a scene outside a car, like on the road in the middle of nowhere.
It was on PCH?
Was it on PCH?
That was up
This
in
is,
Angeles National Forest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
up kind of in the kind of middle of nowhere, and the sun was going down, and a load of bats descended on us mid take.
Oh.
And we had this lovely gaffer called Steve. Steve, who always wore a baseball hat, right? He was holding onto a reflector like this, like trying
And
to
they
like
were
that,
attacking the reflector.
and trying to tackle bats with his baseball hat. And you're going, this is a bizarre situation.
Welcome to independent film.
Yeah, we kept going, like
Yeah.
in the scene. We were just like kind of half looking at
He's what
Steve
you have to
trying
do.
defend himself from
Yeah.
bats.
And
So
then-
there was a lot of very, very surreal, very bizarre moments just on the side of a road in the middle of nowhere. So yeah, it did very much feel like a kind of a journey.
Yeah.
Well, we did go. So we went to Yosemite, Big Sur, Santa Cruz, Groveland. And how we were able to do that is we shot the rest of the film in Los Angeles so that we could save up enough money to go on the road.
To do locations.
pennies
But
together.
I will say for casting a road movie, I cast 3 actors who can't drive. So that was probably question number 1 that I should have asked. Robbie didn't have a license. Zoe had never driven, having grown up in New York.
Right.
Dev actually had a license, but he was the worst driver of all of them.
Yeah.
He
He's-
was
I'd say,
frighteningly
People
bad.
should know he's out there. He's on the roads.
Beware.
If you see Dabs, beware. Pull
Get
over.
out of the
Pull over
way.
the side.
There he goes.
Philbrick. Yeah. Philbrick. Kubrick.